Hello, folks. Hello. Oh, does it hello? Oh, Lord. It's too early in the morning to say hello. Hello, everybody. This is the Addicted Bookworm. Yes, where my addiction's all over the internet. Yeah, I am very proud of my addiction. At least it's not drugs, so, yeah. Um, so, I have been looking at some of my videos, especially my unboxing of like my um my Kindles and my Kobo. I know another one's coming up because I'm getting one either tonight or tomorrow. Hopefully it will arrive on one of the days I'm off. And I noticed that those videos get, I'm not going to say it gets a ton of views, but it gets like 70 some views or 60 some views and stuff like that. And so looking at those kinds of videos, it's like, okay, wow, people like seeing people spend copious amounts of money that they just don't have, or they do have because they make a lot of money from it being a big content creator and everything. And of course, those videos are going to do very exceptionally well. People do like my videos of me going, hey, I've had this device for 24 hours, or I've had this device for 11 months, or whatever. People like that because either it helps them to decide if they actually want to buy the item, or they just look at it because I just feel excited all the time. Right now I feel tired. It's mainly because it's raining out there, and yes, it is still Wednesday. So, um, so I want to talk about, and I was watching this video by the Bald Book Geek, and I do agree with a lot of the points that he makes in his video about videos that people necessarily don't want to do, but they do it anyways because it gets views in. And then of course there's just people that are just naturally angry all the time, that produces content that you can actually tell either they're offended all the time or they're angry all the time. And I'm kind of in the middle because I like to look at both sides and go, why is this video out? Like, honestly. And it's either attacking a certain segment of women, which, why is that video out? Or people going after Amazon. And I will say, point blank, once again, I think Amazon sucks as a company. But boy, do they make great readers. So, yeah. And then, of course, everybody was talking about, oh, on May 20th, you're not going to be able to download new books. You're not going to be able to buy new books, which effectively cuts off your desire to, or your ability to spend more money than you got. And those videos get shit ton of views. I don't know about mine. I don't super pay attention to my views, but I do get the report from Amazon, not Amazon, from YouTube that says, hey, you're number 4, your video's number 4. I don't even know how this works. I don't know. So, here's the thing about manufactured outrage. Manufactured outrage, and I've said that I've used this term over and over again because it is an accurate terminology for what I've seen. Manufactured outrage is manufactured for views, for clicks, to draw people into the channel, and hopefully they will love them enough to where they will subscribe to them. And that is one step closer to getting the magic button that people, weirdly enough, want. I'm not doing this to get some magic button that I can, like, put on my wall. I do this because I love books. I love reading books. I love reviewing books. I love suffering through some of the most weirdly done books. I am almost done with the fourth book in my cozy, not in mine because I didn't write it, Cozy Corgi series. And I think it's like when I get paid, I'm going to get book 5 because I'm going to read book 5 next week. Anyways, so when you have people that all their content, they don't do book reviews. All they do is talk about things that they see in publishing that they feel is a personal affront to them. I don't know why you would feel this way. You're not in the business. You're not an author. You're not anything. You're just somebody with a channel. I kind of look at them like, why am I following you on YouTube when you're not doing book reviews? Like, you're not doing book reviews all because those book reviews videos will not do well at all. And I personally do this channel to get my thoughts about books out. And I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. I think it's a great use of my time because I remember, being in like middle school, high school, it was uncool to read. I mean, yeah, people read because if they didn't read, they couldn't answer the questions and they couldn't get their grade and they couldn't graduate from high school and go on to college where they would drink and forget about anything. But you have grown women of various different shades and persuasions and political opinions that they will use their channel entirely to roast the hell out of like the publishing industry and all this type of stuff. And I like to just bring in some common sense as somebody who's in her late 40s who has a fully functioning human brain and understands things that people that are in their 20s and their 30s who may not remember or may never have been a part of what I would call like the 90s and how publishing used to be and how it still is and all this type of stuff. So one of the huge things I like to complain about, and I'm roasting, I don't remember more than half of these people's YouTube usernames, so I'm not going to mention anybody's YouTube username. More than half of them complain about lack of diversity in publishing. You have, and they always use the W word, and I'm not talking about women. They always use the W word because they can get away with it. And I literally am like, if you want to be a bigot, just be a bigot. I mean, that's what I mean. If you're upset about the fact that publishing houses publishing houses know what brings money in, what keeps the doors open, what keeps utilities on. If you're, I'm sorry. I just don't know what to say to you. So here's the thing about publishing industry as a whole. They have to pay bills, just like everybody else in the world. They have to pay bills. They gotta pay their lease. They gotta pay their lease. They gotta pay their utility bills. They gotta make sure they can pay their employees. And they know that WWs, you know who I'm talking about, are only going to read books written by other WWs. And they know that stuff prints money. And prints money is a term that my brother likes to use and I like to use as a way of ensuring that people that work in the publishing industry can afford to pay their mortgages. Because heavens knows they probably took out a seventh mortgage on their $500,000 home to make it a $11.7 million mansion. I might be wrong about that. But in retrospect, people have to be able to get paid. People have to be able to get paid. And of course, WWs, they want to read these books. They want to, they don't care about the political leanings of other authors who are like them. And they go and they're like, these people get on YouTube and they have these channels and they complain about the racism of the publishing industry. I don't know where you've been, but okay. The thing about it is that they do these videos because they know it's going to get views. They know it's going to make them money. They're monetized. I am not monetized. I don't even have Patreon or Substack or none of those things. Because first of all, I'm too dirt poor to afford any of those things. And two, I just don't, I want my channel to be free. I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, hey, give me money. Okay, I got a job, alright? I got a job. I don't need people to give me money, okay? And I'm still working on paying my mother's cremation bill, but that's another subject, and not even going to be talked about on this channel. But the thing about it is that when you go and you have a channel where all you're doing is complaining about how bad the publishing industry is, you're going to get people that believe the same way you believe that come in and feed your ego and go, yeah, you're right, the publishing industry is totally racist. And it isn't that they're racist, it is that they know what sells. They know what keeps the lights on. They know what enables them to pay their mortgages and their leases. That is all it is. And the fact that years and years ago, and this is before COVID, people were not reading as much as they did back in the 90s. I mean, back in the 90s, and I know this because I lived in St. Louis, Missouri during the 90s. I almost got hit by a car in the 90s, but that's a different matter. I got yelled at by my mother in the 90s for doing that said dumb thing. But anyways, there used to be a bookstore called The Library. And I don't even know if it's shut down. I'm pretty sure it is because I can't find them on Google. Which if you can't find them on Google, they're out of business. But they used to be this really large building. And it was decorated interiorly to represent someone's home. And it was such a beautiful, beautiful place. And I remember, I think it was the 8th floor. I think there was 8 floors to it. I'm not exactly sure, but the very top floor, you had all the young adult and all the children books. And I will tell you, I had never seen so much paper bound into a binding in my entire life. And these were all white colored paper. And now I get copies of Fear Street and they're like brown, and I'm thinking, yeah, at one time that was a beautiful white paper. And it was probably in a bookstore that's no longer in business, way before Amazon came around. And it amazed me as a lover of books that there was so many people. And there was so many people. There was people that have been dead for decades that was there. And they would come out of it with like 30, 40 books, which all got read by the end of the year. But publishing houses could guarantee that they would be able to have this large income from these very people. A lot of them, most of them are dead and gone. And they knew it. And they, and it's like, they know it sells. And people can go and they can go on YouTube and they can bitch and complain about, the publishing houses are racist, the publishing houses are anti-this, anti-that. And here's the thing about what these people just don't seem to understand is just because an author is a WW doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be a bestseller. I publish books. I get 2 or 3 sales per book. I'm happy. Somebody's reading my book somewhere, and I'm very happy about that. And that's all I want in life. It's just one person to read my book, and I'm a happy person. I'm actually making more money than my brother's friend. But anyways, the point is, I'm not a traditionally published author, and I never want to be, because then all of a sudden a book that I really happen to like, really believe in, would be altered and changed to make more and more money. And the thing about it is that those, as I said before, those videos, they bring in the viewers because people are in this gigantic echo chamber, and I feel like I'm in one right now. But what doesn't make a lot of viewers is people talking about books they love. They either want book hauls, videos of people going to Barnes and Noble to spend money they just don't have, e-reader unboxings, e-reader reviews, attacking e-reading companies for, various reasons. People fighting for the right to not die on a floor of a warehouse. Attacking traditional publishing, attacking Amazon. What else gets views? What else gets a lot of views? A lot of views. People generally being disgusting human beings. But in the book world, it is always going to be attacking publishing houses, attacking authors for not having certain views. Oh yes, and here's another thing that makes a lot of views. Attacking fan fiction to traditionally published books. I don't do fan fiction anymore. I have a lot of unfinished stories I'm never going to get to because either I work too much or I'm too busy on my own projects. But yeah, and oh yes, and attacking J.K. Rowling. That is, attacking J.K. Rowling will always get you mega views and probably a lot of subscribers. Why this is a thing, I don't know. But it just seems like to me that if you do any of these videos, you're going to be guaranteed to either get new subscribers or more views. And that is just, I look at that like, why is this even a thing? Why is this even a thing? Why? I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. And it's like these people that do these kinds of content, you don't see them doing book reviews. You don't see them talking about how a book impacted their lives or how much they dislike this book. It's always going to be about content that they know will drive up subscriber amounts or subscriber numbers, and that's it. That's all they care about. They want to get monetized. They want to make money off of this, and they don't care. They don't care at all. I mean, I'm going to say this, okay? Despite the fact that I read a Kobo about 48% of the time, I do love my Kindles. I do. I love them. They are great devices. They're great devices. Now, of course, I do have my little issues with my basic, but at the end of the day, it does what it does. And, I'm not going to give it up. I'm not going to give up my Kindles. I'm not going to give up any of that because I just love the experience of these devices. And yes, once again, Amazon is not a great company. However, they create great reading devices. And that is, I think, one of the great things that they will be known for is what they did to bring people into the digital book community. The thing about it is that these videos are heavily, like my brother could take this video, put it through his machine, add some weird stuff to it, and I would post it, and I would get like hundreds and hundreds of views. People are not really a fan of raw videos that are not beautifully curated, or not curated, but beautifully edited and elegant. They love those kinds of videos that are beautifully edited and all that type of stuff. And then of course, it's like every now and then you will have people that will talk about Roland and Namers, she who shall not be named, because they know the moment they say that line, they're going to get people to come on and watch their video. And then they have a little section where you can click it and go right to that section that will basically give you that dopamine hit and all that. I'm really tired of Booktube being all about blasting this person, attacking this industry. Now, if you're being honest, if you went to, say you went to an event like BookCon, for instance, and you authentically had a bad experience with it, and you're doing a video to say, hey, yeah, I went to this event and this event was badly done, that's entirely different. That's your own personal experience at something that you were hyped up about and all that. Opinion pieces, opinion videos, people take it as gospel. Oh, this person's opinion holds validation. It does not hold validation. Unless it's a personal experience that you have been through, opinions are that opinions. They don't hold nothing. They don't hold anything. Publishing houses, as I said before, will do anything to keep their leases up, to keep their lights on, and to keep their employees paid. And getting all angry and upset because a WW author or a WF author has a bookstore full of other people that look like them is just stupid. Getting mad about that is stupid. Oh, you need to read more diversely. That is your opinion. Your opinion is not gospel. Society for thousands of years have been made up of people with opinions that have been treated as gospel, and it's just opinion. It's opinion, belief. That's what it is. When you have people that oh, this person's political affiliations with these people, and then you don't even read the history behind why it sucks, that's just your opinion. But you use that opinion to go after authors that don't have the same belief and opinions that you do. And as far as the fan fiction turned traditionally published, I am pretty sure I am pretty sure that that Rowland's attorneys have been looking at these books. Now, it may not appear to be so, but yeah. So the common belief, and this is my opinion, not fact. But take it back. I might add some fact to it. Take it back. I probably will. So way back. So this is the fact part. The fact part. Way back in the early 2000s, when Rowland was still the beloved jewel of people, and when a lot of these people that are having their tattoos taken off and all this stuff were children, Rowland sued quite a number of people for copyright infringement. Or people were suing Rowland for their belief that she had stolen from them because they wanted some of that wizarding money. I know there was a website called MuggleNet that did a like a thing, and they got sued by Rowland's estate. Nowadays, authors have to be very vocal about their dislike for fan fiction. Rowland has been kind of okay with it, and that's probably why places like fanfiction.net have not been taken down, because you have authors that have not said point blank, I don't want my characters used in a way that I'm not comfortable with. They are very blunt about their support of fan fiction. So when you have authors that have very popular AO3 fan fiction that gets picked up by a traditional publisher, they want to benefit from the connection to the author's original, like where it comes from. They want to benefit from it, because here's the thing: there are only so many magical school books that you could possibly sell before they all alike. Like literally every single magical school book that has ever come out, every academy of, does get its DNA and bones from Rowland. Just like J.R.R. Tolkien did what, revolutionized what he did, J.K. Rowling revolutionized what she did for the late 20th century, early 24th century. Sorry, not 24th. Oh, Lord. It's the rain talking. Late 20th, early 21st century. That's what she did. And you can bitch about it all you want, and you can do hundreds of videos about how much you cannot stand her, but I'm sorry, that is what she did. There's no way you can escape that. There's no way you can escape her fingerprints all over every single magical academy, academia, whatever. If it's a school of magic, it is definitely inspired by Rowling. Now, I think somebody was saying that Rowling ripped off from The Worst Witch. However, the estate of the author, I don't know if the author is alive or dead, so I'm just going to say estate, never sued at all. And trust me, she has or had attorneys. So when you go and you do videos where you're bitching and complaining about Rowling, my advice is to never read any books that have magical schools in them, because you're reading the descendant of Harry Potter. You are. Now, if it's a school that was a magic school that was prior to Rowland's Harry Potter, that's different. But it's all over. It's all over. I mean, it is. Um, and then of course, they know. They know. Publishing houses know. If they market a book and they use like Draymond fanfiction, whatever on that, they're going to get people to buy the book, or they're going to get people to be pissed off about the book. So here's the thing. So every time that people bitch about fanfiction turned traditionally published, okay, if you got someone who has never ever heard of Roses and Chains and Alchemized and all that type of stuff, and you constantly mention it, and you're attacking it, and you're attacking the author, and you're criticizing the publishing house for essentially making money off of something that they know will do what it does, they're going to buy it. They're going to buy it. My opinion, my viewpoint on it is, don't talk about it. Do not talk about it, because when you talk about it, when you spread how angry you are, people are going to buy the book. So we call this the Streisand effect. So anytime that people say don't buy something, don't listen to something, don't watch something, don't do this, don't do that, it causes what is known as the Streisand effect, which was very, very well observed when people were calling for a boycott of Hogwarts Legacy. And I literally was like, congratulations, you just turned that that video game into the game of the year. And sure enough, it did happen. It became the game of the year. Because what happened was, people were demanding people to not buy the game. Don't buy the game. Don't buy the game. Don't. And people bought it. Because way back, some decades ago, there was a photographer that took pictures of Barbra Streisand. And Barbra Streisand didn't want people to see those photos. So she caused a holler. And what ended up happening was, people who normally would not have cared about Streisand in a photo wanted to see those photos, and sure enough, they did. And it ended up becoming known as the Streisand effect. Anytime you tell someone to not buy something, they will buy it, because they want to know what the big hoopla is about. Streisand effect is old as any, like, it's not called that back about 400 years ago, but any time that something is illegal or on the black market or whatever, people want it. People want to see what is the big hoopla about this item. Prime example is when they were translating the Bible from Greek and Aramaic and Latin to English, they smuggled it over to where it could be put together. And people wanted it because the church said, don't. And so people were like, why is the priest making a big deal about the English language Bible? Oh, maybe I should get it. And yeah, it was something, it was same effect. You tell people not to buy something. Oh, you explain your reasons why you should not buy it. And even if they support your political viewpoints or your stuff, they're going to still buy it. They're not going to display it on camera, but they're going to buy it and they're going to read it. And of course, with these little things, you can read them and nobody will know. But yeah. So getting back to it, people are always going to have an opinion. People are always going to say, are going to criticize people. They're going to be demanding that you do this, demand you do that. You cannot make people do what they don't want to do. That is just how it is. People are going to buy what they want to buy. They're going to play what they want to play. They're going to support authors that are pro-Israeli or pro-Palestinian or pro this or pro that or anti this or anti that. People are still going to read those books. And I think that what Booktube has turned into is not a book review space, but this is my opinion and I want you to believe the way I believe. And that's why you have people that all their videos is this is my opinion is gospel, and you better believe the way I believe. And I mean, it's stupid. I mean, I can still go to Myers and I can see the physical book Alchemized, and I think that is on the verge of becoming a paperback now, because I think it's going to be a year in several months from now, and once Alchemized hits a year, it will automatically become, and then of course you had people that were like, what is up with this? And I understand like the legality, and I understand where people come from about, this is Rowling's world and she created it and everything. And I understand, like, I really hope and pray that, like, authors as a whole come together and say, we don't want fan fiction to be traditionally published. However, I don't really think that they have any say in it. I mean, yeah, they have attorneys that are there to protect them, but at the end of the day, I don't think authors are going to be able to stop it. I don't care what author it is, or it's not going to be able to stop it. It could be a woman in Maine who writes a fantasy book, and then her fantasy book becomes so popular that people start doing fan fiction on it. Or a guy's mystery book will become so popular that somebody will do fan fiction on it. So yeah, it's not going to change. But I also think that publishing houses need to respect the IP of their clients, because that is important to respect, is the IP of your clients. You bring these people on and you claim, oh yeah, we're going to defend you and all this stuff, and you don't. Because you see money. You see money, and that's what you see. Anyways. But yeah. So I have made it a point, and I know it's like May's going to be here in, 2 days from now. I think that as we get closer towards the middle part of the year, and everything, I think that we definitely are going to see more of these books. I mean, next year we'll definitely see more of these books. And people can bitch and complain all they want about it, and I totally understand why people bitch and complain to a certain extent. But here's the thing. Rowland's attorneys most likely told her there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, they can advertise it as, but if that's not what you're getting in the book, Anyways, so I'm going to end it there. And everything. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it gave you some food for thought. And everything. Oh yes, one more thing I want to add is all these videos, and I know this for a fact, all these videos, they're doing something to your blood pressure. I should know. Something happened to me No, it wasn't illegal. And my blood pressure was high. So, yeah, we need to stop surrounding ourselves with people that are negative all the time. Alright, anyways, that's my video. I'll see you next time.